Today, I'm going to teach you 20 nouns that describe people. That's coming up. Hey everyone, my name is Wes from interactiveenglishvideos.com, and this channel, it's all about helping you practice and improve your English skills. And today I have a vocabulary lesson for you because I am going to teach you 20 different nouns that describe people, and they describe people's profession, their personalities, or even their characteristics. So I don't expect you to memorize every single one of these. I think you are probably already familiar with some of them, and that's great. It's great review. But what I'd like you to do for the nouns that you learn that, okay, they're new nouns, I want you to try to associate them with somebody that you know, because that's just going to help you remember the meaning of the noun. So let's begin with professions, like somebody's work or maybe a position that they have. And the first noun that I have for you is coworker. So a coworker, that I think many of you may be familiar with that is just somebody that you work with. It is your coworker. Now, the one thing I want to highlight with this noun is that that prefix at the beginning of this co, because what that is short for is cooperation. So it's talking about people working together, co-workers. We can also use it with other nouns as well. For example, you may hear somebody is the co-founder, that they started a company with another person. They were working together. Or maybe on a sports team, somebody could be the co-captain. These two people, they are cooperating and they are the leaders of the team. Or in a newsroom, somebody who is an anchor, they do the news, there might be a co-anchor. There's two people cooperating, working together, and they are co-anchors. So keep that in mind when you see those two letters at the front of a word, co-workers. Then we have the noun backup. And if you say that somebody is a backup, then that just means they are there to help and support someone else. And in this case, I usually think of perhaps a sports team, that you have the primary player for some position, but then they have a backup. If they get injured or hurt, there's a backup and somebody else will take their place. So a backup supports or helps another person.
Neither of them are married by the time they're 40. They marry each other.
You mean a backup?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we could use a backup.
It's obvious. We should take Dr. Evil's lair by force. Can be my backup, son.
Backup? That's fairly condescending.
The next noun is escort, and this is talking about a person who will accompany another person to some type of social event, and they would be your escort. They go with you to this party, this function, whatever event it is, and they are your escort. You could also use it as a verb, and this person could be escorting you to the party. Keep in mind, be careful with this word, because as a noun, it also means someone who is paid to go with another person to some type of social event and even usually have sex afterwards. So in that case, it could be synonymous with the word prostitute. So keep that in mind before you go somewhere and you tell somebody, hey, this evening, I am an escort. But generally, it means that you are going with somebody to some type of social event, an escort. Then we have entrepreneur. This is actually a word that comes from French, and it just refers to a person who starts a business, and you could say that he or she is an entrepreneur. They're starting your own business. Then we have the noun mediator. Now, a mediator is a person who tries to find some solution in order to solve a disagreement. And when I think of a mediator, it could be a person who is finding solutions to help solve problems with a divorce. Or perhaps a company. If there are two companies that really disagree about something, they may try to hire or find a mediator to help solve this problem.
Rather than spend all day in court, we have decided to settle our dispute using a mediator.
All right, this is going to be an ugly-ass divorce, and we're going to get a mediator.
You should settle this.
Yeah. But unfortunately, my friendship to each of you precludes my getting involved. What you need is an impartial mediator.
And then there is an organizer. And this is just refers to a person who plans or prepares an event. And you could say that they are an organizer. And again, it's a little bit of a vague word that you doesn't really specifically say what they are organizing. But if you were referring to somebody who is in charge of planning the event or activity, you'd say that this person is the organizer. Now I want to talk about personalities. And in this case, I'm talking about the type of person that someone is. So someone could be a philanthropist and they like to help the poor. They really like to help those who are in need and maybe a little less fortunate than others, and they are a philanthropist. Or you could say that somebody is an advocate. And if somebody is an advocate, then it means that they really support something, or maybe they could support someone as well, and they are an advocate. Sometimes this word may be followed with the preposition for. So you would say that somebody is an advocate for some cause. Maybe somebody could be an advocate for women's rights. So whatever cause somebody might be passionate about, they really believe in it, they would be considered an advocate.
She's an advocate for superheroes. It's a new job.
I've long been an advocate for diversity.
Because I've always been an advocate of women in the workplace, Lise.
Sometimes it does feel like industry was more protected than my son. And that's what motivated me to become an advocate.
A person could also be an anarchist. And this describes somebody who kind of wants to destroy government or existing laws, and you could refer to them as an anarchist. Or perhaps a person could be an alpha. And if you say that somebody is an alpha, it means that they are strong, they are powerful, and they just like to be in charge. And you might often hear this noun used with the word personality, and you would say that somebody, they have an alpha personality.
I am an alpha. You're a madman, but not an alpha.
If you want to beat an alpha, you have to be an alpha.
Next, you can say that someone is an innovator. And if you describe a person as being an innovator, you are just saying that they are, well, they're really creative and they often introduce new change or new ideas. They are an innovator. Or perhaps maybe somebody is a visionary. And if you describe somebody in this way, a visionary is a person who is able to see what society or what technology or what maybe even a country will look like in the future, that they know what the future might look like because they are a visionary. Often I think it's used to describe people who maybe work in technology and they're able to come up with all these great ideas because they are also innovators. And then you could say that someone is a good Samaritan. And if you refer to somebody as a good Samaritan, it just means they like to help people who are in trouble. And this is a great word. I think all of us should try to be good Samaritans.
I'm just a good Samaritan.
We had Robbie all wrong. He wasn't a peeping Tom. He was a good Samaritan.
We're just wasting this boy's time then, aren't we? I'll tell you what, I'll be a good Samaritan. What's the cheapest gun you got?
Now let's talk about nouns that describe people's characteristics, their emotions, their behaviors. And we could say that someone is a klutz. And if a person is a klutz, it means that they are, well, pretty clumsy, even a bit silly and foolish. So if I am always falling down and tripping and I have no balance whatsoever, you might say, wow, Wes, you're such a klutz.
Sorry we're late. Gabe fell in the shower.
Such a klutz.
I'm so sorry I fell. Okay. I've been such a klutz.
Oh my. What the heck? What the f? Such klutz, we have to go.
We could also say that someone is a brat. And this is talking about, well, usually a child who behaves badly. And you would say, he is a brat, she is a brat. You could use it to describe an adult, but mostly I think it's used to talk about a child, a brat. Or you could say somebody's a genius. That's a nice thing to say to someone because it's talking about a person who has a very rare skill or they're very talented in some way. way beyond everyone else, and you could say that this person is a genius. Then we have an optimist. This is a great word. I like to think that I am an optimist, and it is describing a person who always tries to find the good in some situation, and you really try to have a positive attitude no matter what's happening, and you could say that this person is an optimist. We could also describe someone as a pessimist, which is pretty much the opposite, and it means that a person they always find the bad in some situation, or they always think that something is going to go terribly wrong, and you could say that they are a pessimist. So again, try to be an optimist. I think it's always good to try and stay positive, think about the good things, try to be an optimist.
Run away, live in the tea garden, eat rabbits.
You're an optimist. It could be anywhere in the world. We'll never see him again. It's over.
I thought you were an optimist.
Miss Lemon, you're such a pessimist. You know what my motto is? Everything always works out for the best.
And I have my doubts about the effectiveness of this medicine, too.
Why, Donald, are you becoming a pessimist?
You could also say that someone is an SOB. And I just wanted to include at least one acronym. So SOB is an acronym that stands for son of a bitch. It's not something that you want. Well, you don't want somebody to refer to you as an SOB, and I hope that you don't have to refer to many other people as an SOB, because what it is, it's another way of saying that somebody is just a jerk, they're an ass, and it's just not a nice thing to say to somebody if you call them an SOB. But unfortunately, I think probably all of us, if we really wanted to, we could think of somebody we know who's kind of an SOB.
God of night, lord of the smoke and mirror, a shapeshifter. Powerful SOB.
He was really sorry about it. Of course, that SOB. I know.
You listen to him, he's just a mean little SOB!
And then we have the word heartthrob. And this noun is talking about a famous singer or an actor that many women are attracted to. And you would say that he is a heartthrob. And actually, wait, I think I kind of made a mistake. It's talking about singers, actors, or even English teachers. Yeah, believe it or not, heartthrobs.
I don't see Karen. I see Dawson's Creek heartthrob James Vanderbeek.
What kind of things are that we stop that?
Can't help it. I feel like a teen heartthrob.
And I understand you've recently become engaged to young heartthrob crooner Josh Groban.
So in the comments, I want you to write to me and tell me which noun describes you. All right, which noun do you think accurately describes your profession, your personality, or maybe any of your characteristics? Let me know in the comments. I hope that you learned some new nouns in this lesson. If you did, please hit that like button. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.